Welcome to this explainer on brain magnesium. We're weighing the physiological necessity of brain-targeted magnesium against the aggressive commercial mechanisms driving the modern wellness industry. Our goal is separating objective nutritional science from modern supplement marketing. Every single day, we face a barrage of advertisements promising enhanced memory, deeper sleep, and sharper focus. Beneath these claims lies a fascinating biological truth regarding central nervous system function, alongside a highly profitable corporate machine driving consumption. So let's begin. First up, the brain magnesium problem. Second, bypassing biological barriers. Third, competing proprietary chelates. Fourth, the commercial narrative. And fifth, medical safety and contraindications. Section 1, the brain magnesium problem. We're looking at regulating central nervous system homeostasis. Magnesium acts as a voltage-dependent blocker for NMDA receptors in the brain. Think of magnesium kind of like a bouncer at a cellular door, carefully controlling the flow of signals. When neurons fire, this bouncer steps aside, permitting a controlled influx of extracellular calcium and sodium ions. This precise action triggers intracellular signaling cascades required for long-term potentiation. Long-term potentiation serves as the biological foundation for memory formation and learning. By regulating these receptors, magnesium supports the upregulation of brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This factor is an absolutely essential component for structural remodeling within the brain. Without adequate magnesium guarding these cellular doors, neurons face excitotoxic damage and synaptic degradation. The entire system becomes overwhelmed, leading to cognitive decline. Dietary analyses reveal a massive nutritional gap. An astonishing 48 to 95% of adult cohorts failed to meet the recommended dietary allowance. For adults, the baseline requirement sits at 310 to 420 milligrams per day. Failing to hit these marks has significant consequences for central nervous system function. A chronic deficiency directly impairs the ability of the brain to regulate the cellular mechanisms discussed moments ago. This widespread shortfall contributes to tangible daily struggles. We're talking memory impairment, sleep disorganization, and clinical anxiety. The physiological need for adequate intake is absolutely undeniable. It presents a clear public health concern. Section 2, bypassing biological barriers. Here's the challenge of the blood-brain barrier. The blood-brain barrier functions as a highly secure border crossing designed by evolution to keep the internal environment of the brain pristine. It actively prevents standard ionic magnesium forms from altering cerebral spinal fluid concentrations. The barrier keeps brain fluid concentrations completely stable despite large systemic fluctuations happening in the rest of the body. If a person consumes massive amounts of standard dietary magnesium, they see almost zero elevation inside the brain. Why? Because the body meticulously buffers against rapid influxes. The barrier protects delicate neural circuitry from chemical instability. Standard forms like citrate, malate, and oxide provide moderate to high elemental yields but have negligible direct penetration into the central nervous system. They target the gastrointestinal tract, mitochondria, or skeletal muscles. To bypass the internal border crossing of the brain, clinical protocols rely on specialized lipophilic chelates. A lipophilic chelate is formed by attaching magnesium to a fat-soluble carrier molecule. This process allows the compound to slip past the defense mechanisms of the blood-brain barrier undetected. Two primary forms dominate the scientific data for brain penetration: L-theanine and acetyltaurate. Conventional forms simply fail to reach the brain in meaningful quantities, rendering them ineffective for direct, targeted cognitive applications. Section 3, competing proprietary chelates. Welcome to the battle of patented formulas. Magnesium L-theanine claims a 7.5-year reduction in estimated brain cognitive age. In direct competition, magnesium acetyltaurate claims faster brain tissue accumulation at lower therapeutic doses. The underlying truth regarding these compounds involves patented properties owned by private corporations. Magceutics owns the L-theanine patent. Sinopharm owns the acetyltaurate patent. The resulting scientific literature often resembles an intense industry turf war to secure market dominance for proprietary ingredients. Each corporation funds specific studies designed to highlight the superiority of their engineered molecule. Consumers reading these clinical outcomes are often unaware of the financial stakes behind the published data. The science is inexorably linked to corporate profitability. Section 4, the commercial narrative. We're analyzing the wellness industrial complex. No human neuroimaging trial has confirmed oral magnesium L-threonate specifically raises brain magnesium in people. This specific detail reveals a significant translation gap in the available research. The grand claims of increased synaptic density and reversed brain aging rely almost entirely on preclinical rodent models. Marketers consistently present data from rats navigating laboratory mazes as proven human physiology. Human trials exist, recording improvements in working memory. Yet these trials are consistently small, industry-funded, and lack independent replication. The leap from measuring rodent brain slices to promising profound cognitive enhancement in human beings is a foundational marketing tactic of the wellness industry. The blood-brain barrier is an evolutionary safeguard, not a biological flaw requiring a commercial workaround. Marketers frame this natural physiological defense mechanism as a frustrating bottleneck holding consumers back from peak performance. They insist people must bypass it using patented lipophilic Trojan horses. We must question the baseline assumption artificially forcing elements into the brain is inherently safe or necessary, especially when the body naturally buffers against rapid accumulation. The wellness industry has successfully convinced consumers their bodies are defective by design, requiring continuous, expensive, engineered interventions to function normally. The Huberman Sleep Protocol prescribes 145 milligrams of elemental magnesium from L-theanine or bisglycinate alongside 50 milligrams of apigenin and 100 to 400 milligrams of L-theanine. All of this must be administered exactly 30 to 60 minutes before planned sleep. This exposes the illusion of clinical precision. These highly rigid sleep protocols promoted by industry figures turn a natural, innate biological process into a complex, inflexible mathematical equation. The implicit subtext tells consumers they require proprietary biohacked formulas, timed to the minute to achieve rest. It shifts the focus away from foundational sleep hygiene toward a dependency on expensive, heavily marketed supplement stacks. Section 5, Medical Safety and Contraindications. We're looking at physiological risks and interactions. Individuals with severe renal impairment, meaning severely reduced kidney function with an estimated glomerular filtration rate below 30, face grave danger from supplementation. The kidneys are responsible for regulating systemic magnesium levels. When renal clearance declines, the body loses the ability to excrete excess minerals. Supplemental magnesium rapidly accumulates, leading to toxic hypermagnesemia. This toxic state causes severe physiological disruptions, ranging from lethargy to complete respiratory depression. Additional risks exist for individuals with cardiac conduction disorders like AV block, where excess magnesium further slows electrical signals in the heart. Strict pharmacological spacing is also required for medications like antibiotics and gabapentin to prevent severe malabsorption. Magnesium acts as a calcium antagonist. It inhibits acetylcholine vesicle release at the neuromuscular junction. Think of this mechanism like severing the communication wire between nerves and muscles. The nerve sends a signal to move, but the message never reaches the muscle fibers. For individuals living with myasthenia gravis, an autoimmune neuromuscular disorder, magnesium supplementation is strictly contraindicated. Their communication wires are already compromised. Even moderate doses inhibit muscle end plate excitability, risking a myasthenic crisis. A myasthenic crisis is a life-threatening state of complete respiratory muscle failure requiring immediate emergency intubation and mechanical ventilation. Does the biological promise of engineered magnesium chelates outweigh the commercial influence driving their consumption? The physiological mechanisms supporting central nervous system health are undeniable. Ensuring adequate dietary intake is a biological necessity. Yet the deep industry biases, patented corporate turf wars, and strict medical safety risks require careful, objective consideration. The clinical realities of the human body often clash with the aggressive marketing narratives designed to sell proprietary formulas. Separating the physiological truth from the commercial packaging is the ultimate challenge for anyone focused on their long-term cognitive health.